What made you want to write this particular book? Because you have so much experience in this area. You could have written probably about 20 different books on creativity. Why was this the book that you felt compelled to write?
Well, the 19 are going to come as well, but this is the first one to come out. Well, first of all, when one gets to a certain level of being a creativity neuroscientist, and I don't know if this is true of all of us in the field, but certainly for me, when I started to do a lot more public engagement events, speaking to the general public, I started to notice when you get away from your community and you're speaking to people who don't have a great curiosity about creativity, which I think I've never met anyone who's not, um, and have a lot of notions about what it is. And something started to consistently come out as things that people held to be true, such as the creativity mental illness link, the link between the right brain and the creativity, psychedelics and creativity. And there was something else that fascinated me, not just the questions, but that even if you told people, well, it's not that simple, well, it's not that, well, it's a little more complicated, it didn't seem to satisfy a person's need to know what that was. And I thought, and that actually made me even more interested. Okay, I'm sure they've heard a lot of myth busting from a lot of people. I'm not the first person to do myth busting when it comes to creativity, but it just falls flat. It doesn't seem to take hold. And I was very interested in why that was. So the book, I think, was trying to make a case for let's examine I picked 7 myths about the creative brain, myth truths. I was always referring to it as about the creative brain. To think we have these specific notions. Let's see how they started. Let's do an archival trawl, so to speak. When did they start? What do we know about it? And what is the best way to understand it? To sort of not see it as a black and white issue. It's right or wrong. It's myth or truth. But to essentially come to the conclusions I did in every single one of them, which is that every myth has a kernel of truth in it. And it's about how the story gets told that it becomes flattened and like one dimensional in the telling of the tale. But if you actually explore the stories, it's really interesting what you learn about creativity and how people came to these assumptions about why this works in this particular context. Why do psychedelics work sometimes, but not other times? Our story making brain is such that we highlight the things that work, not the things that don't work. Things that
Yeah.
don't work are kind of boring, right? So there's something about our need for storytelling that it's not enough for us to tell people or for people to be satisfied and say, well, that's not the case, but we don't really know. Nobody wants a don't know.